always grew up driving around Subarus and stuff, and Mom always had Subarus. So I'd heard word that there was this rally racing going on, and I'd always watched YouTube videos of WRC stuff and all this cool stuff going on overseas, and I found out that they had Snowdrift over in Atlanta, and it was a pro rally, and there's a bunch of big name drivers going over there and racing every year. So once I got my license, I cruised over there and ended up going there every year. Watching Travis Pastrana, Dave Mirra, those guys race over there in the snow, and thought it was awesome. Always wanted to try it myself, but it seemed like too far of a dream to get to that point, because it was, I mean, these were like huge names, a bunch of money and sponsors and stuff, but you'd like sit and watch all those guys go through, and then there'd be like, you know, like just a POS Jetta or GTI Rabbit just bouncing off the limiter, smashing banks, and it was like, that guy doesn't have that much money, there's no way I could get into this. And later, I was in college, well, before college, I was in high school, and I was graduation, like actual ceremony for graduation senior year, and we always have to write like what we're gonna do after college, or after high school, what we're gonna do for college or whatnot, and they would like have you write it, and they would say exactly what you put. So I put on there I was gonna go to college and train to be a rally car driver, and of course no one really knew what that was, but one person that I graduated with, a student, her part of her family was there, and it was the Markers, and their son rally raced, and they heard that and they were like, no way, they gotta meet our son, you know, Matt. And so that student, she gave me Matt's number, was like, hey, you know, my family heard that, and they were like, you gotta get a hold of this guy, he knows what's up. And I'm like, all right. So I took it, I'm like, just some guy I never met, just random phone number. And so one day I just called it, and he's like, he was out in his garage working on, you know, rally car, and he's like, dude, I heard you wanna go rally racing. I'm like, yeah, it's awesome, I love it. And he's like, that's so cool, I didn't even know anybody really knew about that stuff around here. And he's like, come out to my shop, help me build this car, I'm building a new car, and you can crew for me or whatever if you know how to work on cars. I'm like, dude, I love working on cars. So I just showed up at his shop one day and started wrenching, ended up being really good friends with him. And he taught me a bunch of stuff, and we built a open class WRX, and he raced it, and we went and I crewed for him a couple events, and he always was like, dude, just build a car. Like, I mean, Matt was like, he didn't have like he was like self-employed for the most part. I mean, he just did what he loved, and he was super passionate about it, and he's like, just go build one, dude, make it happen. Like, and Matt unfortunately passed away a couple events later, and it was like, man, I need to do this, like, I need to build a car. So I helped some other guys that I met through Matt, helped them build a car, Sam, and I crewed for him for a while, and then everything kind of, the stars just aligned, and I ended up with a car, and I built it when I was in college with a part-time job, and I went and raced LSPR and started racing, and it was awesome. That's how I got into it. So first car was a 1993 Subaru Legacy wagon, automatic, 2.2 liter that I bought off my dad because it was my mom's old car, and I got the crap kicked out of it and drove through ditches and smashed into snowbanks, and that was the first car. The rally car is a 2000 Subaru Impreza RS. It's built for open lake class. For the most part, it's for the most part, it's a stock car in its sense, but just with a full cage, safety equipment, skid plates, upgraded brakes. The engine's out of a newer Subaru with the variable valve timing, but it's still just NA, lower on horsepower, but still higher on its miles per gallon. It's gravel spec wheels and tires, and just ready for rally pretty much. Best part about rally experience is probably the people you meet, the competitors, the spectators. Rally is very different from a lot of other motorsports. It's, you you don't win anything, you don't win any money. You have to spend a lot of money to do it. Just to enter an event is, thousands of dollars after staying somewhere and all these things. And so the people you meet tend to be very passionate about what they're doing. So even the spectators, it's free to spectate, but you gotta hike through the woods, cold weather, rain weather, and people are out there in the middle of a rainstorm and just cheering you on, and just to watch cars go by for a few seconds. So the people you meet are very passionate about it, and they're very helpful and super just relaxed, and they love what they're doing just like you do. So you meet a lot of like-minded people, and I think that's probably one of my favorite parts about it, other than the driving. First vehicle I modified, it's probably my second car. I had like a 2001 Legacy 2.5 GT. It was a 5-speed, and it was like right as I was getting into like spectating rally and stuff, so I put exhaust on it, and short throw shifter, all the eBay stuff my limited budget could handle, and made it stupid loud. And that's probably the first one I actually modified. Kind of all went downhill from there. It's interesting around here. I mean, with their seasons, and it's not like Florida or wherever else where it's just warm all the time and people got their one car. Everyone's got winter beaters, and I mean, I enjoy being an enthusiast just to build cars and have the functionality of it. But that's the nice thing about rally is with the Subaru and everything, you can drive it all year, go beat on it in the winter. It's super fun, but it is a little more challenging to be an enthusiast in northern Michigan, just with the climates and the weather. And I mean, I live off a bunch of dirt roads and stuff, and so that's why I think I more gravitated towards rally. But I enjoy the differences that we have to actually expand a little more and not just one boring thing. I like making things that are functional and just building stuff with my hands and going and driving it. So it makes it a lot of fun.
Are you gonna drive the Beamer in the winter?
I don't think so. Maybe. It might get some snow tires strapped on at one point. Get some sights on it.
Do some ice racing?
Go ice racing. Yeah, that'd be a good time.
What have you done to your rally car for 2020?
2020, even last year, I was focused on building another race car. So the Subaru it was done. It's competitive. I like leaving it stock because it makes it more reliable as far as rally goes. But I started building another car. I swapped a BMW and 3 Series and put a cage in it and did all that stuff. So I started building another car to maybe do some different events with. So I kind of focused on my time and money on that for the last couple of years. Currently, my toys would be, I've got the open light rally car behind me. I've got the 3 Series BMW I just built, which LS swapped, cage for whatever I want to do with it. I got a 67 C10 that my dad and I built throughout the years with its bag chopped 4 inches, turbo LS in that. And then I also have a lifted Forester that's turboed and welded diffs and that I go wheeling with. Those are kind of the current toys I have right now. 2020 kind of got scrapped because of COVID. Most every event I was going to run, LSPR, Summer Snowdrift, Empire Hill Climb, all of them just got canceled. So next year I'm hoping to get out a little more in the BMW, try to hit some tarmac events. There's some new ones down south, a new one in New York that just got put together. Empire Hill Climb, and maybe see some gravel like Summer Snowdrift next year. Hopefully, maybe LSPR. It's kind of up in the air with the current events, but yeah, this year kind of got totaled out. Definitely want to give a shout out to the Marker family. They were great when I was getting into it, and just so welcoming with Matt and everybody else. And shout out to just everybody in the rally community. They're awesome. Everybody seemed so supportive and always willing to help. My wife, I guess, for helping me build stuff and letting me get in a car and try to not die. So that's always good.